Welcome to Business Talk, presented in collaboration with the University of Rio Grande and the Ohio State University South Centers, from the heart of southeastern Ohio at the University of Rio Grande TV studio. Our goals are simple: promote the University of Rio Grande and the Ohio State University South Centers, as well as advocate local small business and their support organizations. More importantly, promote southeastern Ohio as a wonderful place to live, explore, and learn. There are many different ways you can find us. The University of Rio Grande Cable Access Channel 17, live online at blogtalkradio.com, and on YouTube if you are unable to catch our show live. Introducing our co-hosts, Jason Winters, Mike Thompson, Patrick Dengel. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoy the show.
Welcome to Business Talk. I hear an echo. Do we have an echo? Fantastic. Normally I introduce our special guest this week, but for those of you who began to watch our show last week and you watched the first 5 minutes and then it went off, we are doing a take two. Today on Business Talk we have Rebecca Long. Rebecca is the Vice President of Administrations of the Rio Grande Community College. Did I get that correct?
You got it right. You're good. You're good.
You know, second time's a charm, right?
We had last week to practice.
We had a nice little storm go through that we all remember so well, Pat.
Yes, we did.
And you were doing a fantastic job behind the mic. You were running everything perfectly.
Obviously not well, since he got canned from that position.
Well, you know, sometimes you just got to go back.
Well, you know, Mike has that magic touch, and I have yet to learn how to precisionly put all of those buttons that Mike
Nothing
does.
like Magic Mike.
Yeah, Magic Mike. But Rebecca Long, let me tell you, we had a recent MBA graduate, Brian Long. Maybe you know Brian Long.
The name is vaguely familiar to me.
And he sort of helped us in the very beginning when we were involved with just starting out on the internet radio, and he helped to really develop some of the formats of the show.
You're giving him an awful lot of credit.
Well,
Is Brian on lunch break? Is he watching the show?
So he helped hone your style, huh?
He helped hone the style.
Oh, great.
And so, and I understand that you and he have been married how long?
Actually 11 years next week.
11 years. Wow.
Yes.
And you have how many children?
We have two. We have a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old. They look like their father. They act like their mother. So they don't have a chance.
Well, go ahead and tell us about yourself.
I actually grew up about a block from campus. I am a Rio native. Attended Rio for my undergraduate degree. Graduated in '99 with a degree in public relations. Studied under Nita Daly and Leslie when they were both here. I started out working for AmeriCorps, which is sort of how I got into higher ed. I worked in an access to higher ed program through Ohio University. And sort of fell in love with the whole higher ed scope. Went back and got my master's from Marshall University in organizational communication, and have been with Rio now for about 12 years, almost 13 years.
And when you say you were with AmeriCorps, tell the listening audience a little bit more about what AmeriCorps, what its purpose is, and how it helps.
AmeriCorps was a program started under Bill Clinton to sort of help, I think, stimulate the economy a little bit, but to also put some people to work and encourage different social service areas throughout the country. And so AmeriCorps workers do a variety of things. And at the time, ours was encouraging education in Appalachia, Ohio. This is traditionally an underserved population in multiple ways, but very much so in education. And so we worked with high school students and middle school students to encourage higher ed. We know from studies that students basically make their decisions about whether or not they will attend college in middle school. So if you wait until junior year, senior year of high school to tell a student you should go to college, you've probably missed the boat. That needs to start much, much earlier. So we did a lot of projects like that, traveled throughout the Appalachian region. It was a really great experience. Jake Bapst got me into that position, the infamous Jake. I went to him close to graduation and said, "Do I have to get a real job to work?" And And he said, I got the great job for you. It's not quite real job, but it'll help get you there. And it did. It opened a lot of doors for me. And the pay is not great, but you get educational stipends that I was able to use to put towards my master's degree.
I understand.
So would you equate AmeriCorps with Peace Corps, except on home turf?
Basically, yes. It's a
Right.
modified, smaller, domestic version of the Peace Corps.
How long were you involved with that?
For a year.
For a year.
I had a 1-year contract.
And then after you left that, what brought you to University of Rio Grande?
Well,
You know?
a position opened up with the community college to do recruiting in the 4 counties. And it transitioned well for me. I had been placed at Rio and then at River Valley High School in my AmeriCorps work. And so I had been working on college visits with students from River Valley. I had worked with some of the other local high schools. I had done some work with Mike Beaver on tech prep, and so that was sort of fresh in my mind. And this position opened up for a 4-county recruiter, and I thought, well, heck yeah, you're not going to find anyone more qualified. I'm from the 4 counties. I had just come out of doing that kind of work, and so I jumped on that opportunity quickly. And so I began my time at Rio in admissions and sort of came up through the admissions department. In 2008, I took over as the director of admissions for a couple of years and then moved to our branch campus in Meigs and operated the Meigs Center and the MacArthur Center for a couple of years. And then I've been in my current position since late 2011, early 2012. Yeah.
Well, you seem to have a very successful career, the path in education and helping junior high, grade school individuals realize that there is life after high school.
Absolutely. So many of our families are first-generation college families, and they don't. It's a lot to maneuver. If you've ever tried to sit down and do a financial aid form, it's not that difficult for those of us with some experience in it, but it's a government form, and if you don't understand higher ed, if you don't understand federal aid, those are really overwhelming tasks. We also know that the Appalachian culture is a little bit of the, why does my son or daughter need to go to college? I didn't go to college, and I've done very well. And it's not what it was 30 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago. In many cases, industry has changed. And the other thing that's changed is when I went to school, which is not that long ago, it was you need to be a teacher, you need to get a bachelor's degree, you need to go on and get your master's degree. That's very much not the case. Our students that are graduating with associate degrees at Rio are coming out making extremely respectable wages, more than I made fresh out of college, with these 2-year associate degrees, especially in our healthcare fields and our manufacturing fields, welding. So you don't have to go to school for 4 years anymore. We have short-term training opportunities. And so just educating families on what their options are and how to be able to earn a wage that is respectable and can support your family.
So let's go just a little bit farther and let's talk about what Rio really is. We have a very unique institution here. We are a community college plus a university. Most people in our region, when they think about going to college, they just think about going to college. They don't realize the difference between community college and private university. So let's talk a little bit about that and how that works well here at Rio.
We are extremely unique. We are really the only one of our kind in the country. We offer the community college experience and the private college experience all together. And you know, the interesting thing about growing up here is it's what we've known, those of us who are from the region, and it's what we've always known. And it wasn't until I got in a position where I was able to interact with other institutions of higher ed from the state and even around the nation. When you say that, they look at you and go, huh? You're what? That doesn't make any sense. And so it really is nothing but a win-win-win to our students. We are able to offer our students a lot of the amenities of a private institution. We have the resident experience. We have, the highly qualified faculty members. We have the athletic teams that come with 4-year comprehensive institutions. We have the small class sizes. But we are also able to do that for the first 2 years at a community college cost. In the 1970s, there was a need for more affordable education in the region. So the community college was created to build off of what already existed here with the private university, Why reinvent the wheel? Why start over when we had something here? We had a physical plant. Let's just take what we have and make it different and better and add options. So what that has done for our students is created a situation where we have certificate programs, associate degrees, bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, and for the first 2 years, all Ohio residents pay that public college, community college cost, which keeps the tuition much lower. So it's a benefit. For those of us that work behind the scenes, it gets a little complicated sometimes, but that's why we work behind the scenes. The students know no difference.
So let's delve into that just a little bit more.
Oh,
What is
do we
a
have to?
certificate? What is a certificate?
What is a certificate? A certificate. Are you from the state of Ohio? A certificate is it's a short-term training program. An associate's degree normally takes a student 2 years of traditional full-time study. A certificate program is a short-term program. It can be a 1-year program, 30 hours of academic work, basically 1 year of full-time study. It can be shorter. We have some certificate programs that we are able to offer in programs that you might do 9 coursework hours, 1 semester, and then be able to get an industry recognized credential. So there are multiple levels of certificates, and we offer several of those here. Welding is a huge one, and if you are involved in the employment world, welding is the key word everywhere you go. Everyone wants to talk about welding in this region. We have a welding certificate that allows you to sit for a procedures test to become a certified welder, and you can go certain places in the region and make more than probably the 4 of us combined in here as a certified welder.
That's very, very true. You also have a program with the electric generating plant down the road.
We do a lot of co-op opportunities.
Yes.
Our technology faculty are very dedicated to getting their students co-ops and internships and introducing them to the field. They stay very current in their discipline, and students are working in opportunities, making money while they're still in school. And they're meeting a lot of those demands. And so those are just really great opportunities for students. And you know, not every student wants to sit in the classroom and listen to Shakespeare and the history of communication. I'll throw myself under the bus, or, you know, take an accounting class.
Now, you're talking about liberal arts kind of coursework versus technical hands-on?
Right, applied business, applied
businesses?
types of courses.
Okay.
And so that's just the benefit of RIO. We offer all of that. And you know, traditionally, if you go to a more technical school to get some of these short-term training programs, you don't get a lot of that liberal arts education. Here you can get that. You can get the technical certificates, and we're also going to incorporate into that the liberal studies. So in addition to being a supreme welder, you're also going to have the ability to speak, to communicate, and to do the writing that you need and be a well-rounded individual. All those things that will benefit you in the employment world. And so that's just a benefit RIO has over a traditional trade school, technical school that wouldn't offer that liberal arts side. So it's just a win-win. It's a great marriage.
And the interesting thing about, you know, some of the applied sciences, for instance, your nursing program, it is the nursing program both part community college moving into the University of Rio Grande?
It is. You can do the associate's degree in nursing, the ADN, which is what you need to become an RN. You sit for your registered nurse exam, and you can become a practicing RN. We also have a bachelor's degree component to get your BSN. So if you have any aspirations of management, master's degree, a lot of students are pursuing nurse practitioner, then you're going to need to take that next step towards a bachelor's degree. And the great thing about our BSN program, building off of that RN, is it's built so that you can actually work as a nurse while you come back to school, so that you
that's very good.
hone up on your skill, make some
Sure.
money, enter the workforce while you're increasing your education. And that's important. That's
Yeah.
very important. In the end, it's all about employability.
Yeah, that's true. And I know you, Jason, have been working out into some of the business community offering programs, certificate programs, or training programs with different restaurants and professional organizations, banks.
We actually started a certificate program / minor in banking.
Banking.
And we work with several of the local banks, and actually some of them have actually sent their employees for further training throughout the program. We have a program with Bob Evans right now, the hospitality management program, that's still in a pilot stage that we're working through, but very successful. Some very good things have come out of that program. But all of our students have to go through an internship. So we're constantly working with businesses throughout the community to place our business students in real-world experiential learning opportunities before they graduate.
And I think that's very, very important because it really helps an individual to understand theory plus practical experience.
Yeah, absolutely. We have so many students that come straight out of high school and they go straight into college, and they might have worked fast food or a part-time job or something like that, which is great. But as far as getting into a field with their discipline, they need that experience before they actually start applying for jobs. And so it works out well. We have mentioned Rio several times, and we're talking about Rio Grande, Ohio. We have convenience opportunities for our students outside of Rio Grande. Megs, Vinton County?
Absolutely.
Let's talk about it.
The institution actually had a small campus in Middleport for many, many years. And so in 2008, we grew. We have a joint partnership with the Meigs County Community Improvement Corporation where they actually built a building, and we leased that facility to offer classes in Meigs County. It was brand new in 2008, state-of-the-art
It is a nice
facility.
facility.
It's beautiful,
Oh,
isn't
yes,
it?
Yes, it is.
It's beautiful. I have
My home away from home.
Jason's home away from home. He likes it there. I've often said it's the nicest building in the Rio system. Now, Woodhull's going to rival that, and we can talk about that if we have time. I may have to change my statement when we reopen Woodhull. We started that facility in 2008 with about 70 students, and right now we run between 350 and 385 students in that facility, and that's really exciting. We've been able to graduate now 2 classes of students that have been able to take their entire coursework at the Meigs Center and receive an associate's
That
degree.
is fantastic.
It's wonderful. And it's a win-win. It's a joint partnership. It proves that when entities begin to work together and communicate, you really can do fabulous things for your community. So students can actually get a couple of different degrees at that facility. Am I stealing your question? Can I go
You're
ahead?
fine.
All right.
Go for
See,
it.
since we did this trial run last week, we kind of know what's coming up next. You can get an entire associate's degree in business management and hang out with Jason
That's right.
multiple hours a day.
That's right.
You can get an associate's degree in early childhood education. And we also have an associate's degree in social services, which is the foundation for our bachelor's degree in social work, which is a popular program. A lot of students have an interest in social work. And so it was a great opportunity to encourage some students to come into that program, and all 3 of those programs have baccalaureate degree programs on the main campus, and that is our ultimate goal. We want to bring the students in at the Meigs Center. Many of these students are site-bound, meaning transportation is a big barrier. Because we are in rural America, we don't offer public transportation like your cities, and so it's tough for them to make the 35-mile trip.
But one
from
of
Meigs
the
to
things
Rio.
that I noticed that you're all interested in using various different kinds of technology for hybrid classes, for online classes. As a matter of fact, there's a number of students from Cleveland and Columbus that have taken some of the coursework here at the University of Rio Grande, and I have only been on the campus once.
We'll try to spell anything once, won't we? We're very creative, and we've evaluated some things and said, that just really didn't work like we'd hoped, and maybe that's not the best way to go, but we tried it. And other things that have worked really well. And one of the great things about, and I would say this if he were not here and we were not being filmed, working with Jason is the business department. They're just willing to try anything. Let's try it and see, can we get some,
That's
what
right.
can we do to reach students and to make this work?
Yes.
And we just love that. And I think that's part of the reason our branch campuses have been so successful. Vinton County, also one of the, Vinton and Meigs are always in the top 5 highest unemployment rates in the state, highest poverty rates in the state. And so, there's a challenge. There are a lot of folks that need an education brought to them. We are actually working in a partnership with Vinton County Local Schools in MacArthur, and we operate out of the old portion of the old Vinton County High School. So if you attended the Vinton County High School, I hear it's where the principal's office was. we seem to have some faculty coming back saying, I sat in that office. And we do just basic general education courses there. We don't have any degree programs at that site, but we have some students who are interested in pursuing business degrees. And so we find a way to link them to MEGS in some way and often link them to main campus. And we just make it work. We make it work for the students.
Well, I think, too, something that might work for the branch campuses is some people who haven't been to a college they're intimidated by a main campus. If you just go to a little building that's in your community, it takes away some of the fear and gets you acclimated to that.
You're exactly right. And these students that come to us at the offsite locations think they can't do it. And in many cases, they absolutely can. They just don't have a lot of confidence. And you would be surprised at how many individuals in our 5, 6, 7 county region have never really been outside of their county.
Right.
And if they have, they've maybe gone one county over. And so we have started renting vans and bringing students from the branch campuses to the main campus for visits when they are in their second semester of study.
I think that's very important. I remember about 3 years ago, one of the former faculty members who went to Vinton County for some education. There was a young lady that had never really been outside of Vinton County. And he was trying to encourage her to look at what her options were. So we had lunch in which I introduced some of the small business development services and things of that nature. And it was a very friendly but very important meeting for that young lady. So I understand what you're saying.
Absolutely. Was that faculty member Dr. Hill?
Yes.
It was. Dr. Hill was a huge supporter of the offsite locations when we
Yes.
opened them, and was really sort of the lead in what can we do to make this work.
That's right.
And, in his retirement, I've loved that Jason has really kind of picked up that same spirit, because that is important. We're not always going to be successful. We have to try and find ways to make it work. And a lot of these students have matriculated. We actually did some research last semester, and we have learned that 25% of the students that have begun their course of study at the MEG Center have ended up on the main campus pursuing a baccalaureate degree or another degree that we didn't offer at the MEG Center. And to us, we consider that successful. We're giving them the tools that they need to realize, I can do this. It's not scary. I'm going to be fine. And we connect them with some faculty members. We love that main campus faculty come to our offsite locations and teach. That is so important, because we know that that's where that connection is going to happen in the classroom.
I think you're absolutely correct, in trying various different things. It's like business, Jason. When somebody starts a business, they tend to have an idea how it's going to work, but they have to be adaptive, because sometimes something doesn't work on one area, will work in another.
Everything doesn't go smoothly?
Well, maybe for you. As you know, he owns a goat farm. He has a crematory. He has a farm. Loving husband, great father.
Pat, I'm not running for office, so you can stop at any time.
Do not sit next to him when you have an animal at the vet in surgery. Don't do that. That can be a scary
Bad juju.
moment for all individuals involved.
All right, let's go back to college.
Moving on.
I do want to take one step back. We've talked about college, but we really haven't talked about PSO. Our remote locations, being in
PSO.
MEGS,
PSO.
being in Vinton County, and here have really opened up opportunities for PSEO. And
Well,
I
what's
will let
PSEO
Rebecca
for
explain
people?
that.
What is it?
Can you define it?
Yeah.
Post-
would
Can
you?
you? Can you? No? Post-secondary educational opportunities. Dual credit.
Oh, okay.
Dual credit.
So if you have high school students, what years?
Well, I have a sophomore in high school.
Sophomore?
Well, actually, he'll be a sophomore next year in high school, and he is coming to Rio to fulfill his high school sophomore, junior, and senior year here on campus, taking college courses that he will receive high school credit for
And
Fantastic.
probably an associate's degree.
at the same time.
Right.
And
And
so-
it's no charge.
What? That's not
right?
true.
No?
There is a charge, but not to the student. Almost.
Well, yeah.
Very good. Do you own a business?
Yeah, I've been there. So, who pays for it?
It's paid for by tax dollars.
Absolutely.
It's just a wonderful program, and actually the state is looking at even making some changes to try to make it even better next year. But PSO has allowed top academic students to pursue college courses and receive dual credit for those courses. It's not for every student, and I think that's important to note. It's for students who are high achieving academic students who are capable of not only the rigor of college coursework, but the social maturity necessary to be
Sure.
successful in a college classroom, which is sometimes difficult for us to measure.
That may be the bigger one
It
because there's a lot of people that, may have been C students, not so great in high school, and they come to college and they may make A's and B's. So it may be a different learning style that may fit them better. But it is the maturity, I think, is the biggest thing that you would have to watch out
Yeah.
for.
Well, yeah, when you get to college, your instructor's not, you got to get this done. You got to get this done.
Right.
Sit down. Quite frankly, if you don't show up to class, you don't show up to class. It's your money.
Right.
That's a different learning style. You got to have somebody
And you
that's
have
dedicated.
breaks. You don't have a class back to back to back to back like you do in school.
But the neat thing also is that the college courses can transfer to any other state financially assisted.
They
program.
can. Rio Grande Community College is part of the state system, and so the courses taken at Rio Grande are transferable to other public institutions. It's actually very easy for families to research that. There's the Ohio Transfer Module, which is a core grouping of gen ed courses that will transfer to other schools. There are also courses outside of that that are what we call tag courses that transfer, and all of that information is available online. Parents and students can easily go in and say, I'm taking Calc 1 at Rio Grande, this is what it will be at OU or Ohio State. And so the state has made it easy. Cost of education is not cheap. We all know that.
Sure.
It is expensive and it is difficult for families. This is a fabulous way for students who are prepared to get up to we have had students who have graduated with an associate's degree from Rio 3 weeks before they graduate from high school.
Yes. And that would be
That
the
is-
situation.
That will be the
That is
situation.
fantastic.
Dad has
But now,
said,
again, it's not for everyone. And
Right.
you do have to have certain grades. You have to be able to test into certain courses. You have to be out of the remedial area of coursework for college. So not every student can do it, but for those who can, there's great benefits.
great benefits.
And when you talk about gen ed courses, that really means what?
Those basic courses that you have to take regardless of your degree, your English, your math, your psychology, your history, those courses that make you a well-rounded individual.
Gen Ed stands for General Education.
General education. Rebecca, we only have a couple minutes. What have we left out that you wish to get across to the listening audience?
No, we only have a couple minutes.
You know me well. Wood Hall. Let's just talk about Wood Hall briefly.
Absolutely.
We received $3.5 million from the state of Ohio to renovate Wood Hall. It is our most used classroom building on campus. If we have alumni listening, you will remember Wood Hall. I don't think you can get off campus with a degree and not take at least 1 or 2 courses in Wood Hall. We received $3.5 million to renovate it. We've basically gutted it. We've made a lot of mechanical changes. We've made cosmetic changes. We've made restroom upgrades. Those are important to the females. We're going to reopen the building in the fall, and it's going to be very exciting. We're planning a grand opening party. It's really wonderful to see that kind of progress taking place on campus. So if you're out and about in August, stop in and check out our newly renovated Wood Hall. State-of-the-art technology in every classroom. The instructors are very excited. They are going to be able to bring whatever they need to the classroom for the students. And so it's going to be an exciting opportunity.
And I know Mike's studio has been upgraded, and Mike is moving this summer. His studio. He's even asked me to carry some of the heavier pieces of equipment.
Yeah, this whole desk needs to move
Yeah,
over.
no problem.
How come you're willing to help him carry the desk up to Wood Hall, but you're not willing to come out and help me feed goats?
Because goats are little cute things. And
Oh, so you don't like cute things. You just
No,
like big, hard jobs.
no, because instead of feeding them, I'd probably be scratching all their heads.
Good help is hard to find.
It is.
Rebecca, thank you very much for coming on to our business talk. It's always a pleasure to have you, be able to speak before a variety of different audiences about Rio Grande Community College, and the University of Rio Grande.
Very quickly before we go off the air, if anyone wants more information about any of the programs that's offered off campus, how do they get a hold of you, or how do they get that information?
The number to our Make Center is 992
1880.
1880
Prefix of 740.
740. Thank you.
740.
And our MacArthur Center can be reached at 740
740.
645
645.
7990.
7990.
However, the website's a great resource.
Yes.
We have links to both campuses on the website, and you can always contact the main campus office, 1-800-282-7201. They can help you get wherever you need to be.
And they're not scary people.
We are not
And
scary
and
people.
the
We are
the
friendly.
website address is very easy, rio.edu.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Rebecca, we thank you for joining us today on Business Talk. And for our audience, thank you for listening. Have a good afternoon. Oh, I'm Jason.
I'm Patrick.
I'm Mike.
I'm Rebecca.
Thank you for listening.